Hi everyone and welcome to this video. In today's video, I'm going to take you through the SNAP registration process. The good thing about SNAP is that the registration process for the SNAP as a test and the application for individual colleges is integrated and it happens through the same dashboard. So once you register for SNAP, through the same form, you can decide which colleges you want to apply to by paying an additional fee. So in today's video, I'll take you through all the steps that you need to go through to complete your SNAP plus college applications. So let's get started. So now we are on the main website of SnapTest, which is snaptest.org. And here you will have to go through a couple of things before you actually begin your registration process. So the first thing that I'm going to take you through is going to be the registration process and the important dates. Now, there is a new thing that has been introduced this year compared to last year. So one can take Snap up to 3 times now, as against what it used to be earlier, which was 2 attempts out of 3. So now students can take up to 3 attempts. You can decide to take 1, 2, or all the 3 attempts that are going to happen. So on your screen, you will be able to see the dates on which these attempts are going to happen. So the first is going to be 10 December, followed by 18 December and 23rd December. So all the 3 tests will be conducted in the month of December itself. For all of them, the test timing is going to be the same, which is 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. So you can go through the instructions which are given here in terms of when do you need to register and so on and so forth. So at the bottom of this, you will see all the programs for which SNAP score will be accepted. We are going to see individual college names and the programs for which the score will be accepted. So at the bottom of this, you're going to find the registration fee payment process. And you will see that for every program, you have to pay additional 1,000 rupees. So when you select, let's say, 3 programs, you will have to pay additional 3,000 rupees in addition to of course, the SNAP fees that you would have paid. So that is what the fee details are in terms of application. Let me now take you through the important dates as well. So as we saw, the registration has already started. It started on the 4th August and it is going to close on 24th November. So you have a lot of time to register. However, it is important that you register for the test at the earliest and decide how many attempts you want to take. That is because the slots are assigned on a first come first serve basis. And sometimes it may happen that you don't get the city of your choice to take the test. That is why it is recommended that you fill the form a little earlier and don't wait till 24th November to fill your forms. The payment is also going to close on 24th November and admit card, depending on which test you're taking, will be either made live on the 5th December or the 10th December. Now, the announcement of result, as usual, is going to be in the month of Jan. So this is going to be on 10th Jan when the result will be announced. Let's now look at the registration process step by step. So when it comes to the test structure, they have not made any change this time. It is still going to be a 3-section paper. So 60 questions to be attempted over 60 minutes. The first section is general English, wherein you have 15 questions, analytical and logical reasoning, which has 25 questions, and quant section, which has 20 questions. Now, there is negative marking in SNAP. So +1 for a right answer and minus 0.25 for a negative. Now, in terms of normalization, because this is one area where a lot of people think that the test scores are going to be normalized, but that is not what happens in case of SNAP. So though they are conducting over multiple days, so it is 3 attempts that one can take, no normalization will be done in terms of the scores that you get. So out of the 3 attempts, so in case, let's say somebody has taken maybe 1, 2, or all the 3 attempts, whatever is the best raw score of that person, that will be used for calculating the final percentile of that student. And that is why, in case you feel that you need to take multiple attempts, you are free to do so. But based on your preparation, you have to take that call, whether should I be taking only 1 attempt or multiple attempts. So let's start filling the form now. So the first thing that you will have to do is click on the Apply Now button at the top right corner, and you'll be taken to a new page wherein you will have to create your account. So let me show you how that looks. So on the left-hand side, you can see that there are steps that they have given for SNAP registration. The first thing is registering for the test, wherein you fill the registration form part 1. You enter the OTP and validate the mobile number and your email ID verification. Post that, you have to make payment for the SNAP test. And then the third part is registering for the individual institute programs, which also happens through the same dashboard. And the fourth thing is making payment for those individual programs. So that is how the whole thing is going to look for you. Now, let me create my account and show you how the dashboard looks. So since I'm creating my account for the first time, I'll click on the register button. And once you click on that, there will be some instructions. Now, I suggest that you go through these. The instructions are fairly straightforward, but it's important that you go through all of them and before you actually fill the form. So once you scroll down to the bottom, you will see that there is a tick box. You click there and click on I agree. So this is the first section of your form. The first thing that you start with is the applicant name, and it is supposed to be as per your 10th or 12th mark sheet or certificate. The second thing is date of birth. Both of these are mandatory fields. So you can specify the date, the month, and the year. After this, you'll have to enter your number and email ID. Make sure that you keep these two things constant throughout the journey. So whatever mobile number that you give and email ID that you give has to be the one that you use frequently. So enter the mobile number, the primary email, and you have to retype the primary email. The next thing is applicable to institutes other than SIMS. So SIMS specific category will have to be filled appropriately after choosing SIMS program. So here you have to indicate the category. There are 5 options: Open, SC, ST, DA, and Kashmiri migrants. After this, you have to indicate for international students what is the nationality and so on. So you can select the country from where you are. In most cases, I believe that is going to be India. But if you're not from India and you are a foreign applicant, you can decide the nationality. The next question is, are you an NRI candidate? Again, you can select the response that is applicable. In terms of SNAP test options, by default, they would have selected all 3. So you will have to decide which of these you want to take. So let's say you're somebody who is going to take only one attempt and that is going to be the first one. You can select that. And for the choice that you make, you have to give the test city preference as well. So there are a total of 80 plus cities wherein it is going to be conducted. So you can figure out which test city you want to give as the preference. So once you give a particular preference, for example, let me select Mumbai for now, and it shows available. Now, you may find that if you delay your application process and you select a particular city, it might show that it is not available because the slots are full. And that is why it is important to fill your application form at the earliest. Similarly, if you select multiple attempts, you will have to give the test city preference for that particular attempt. For now, I'm just going to select the first attempt, select the test city, and here I'll have to upload my current passport size photo. Again, they have given some specification. It has to be .jpg, .jpg, and so on. And the file size should be between 10 KB to 5 MB. So the good thing is it's not very small size. It's up to 5 MB. In case you have any problem, use quick-resize.com to reduce the size. And once you're done with all of this, right, you just need to click on I have verified my name and all the details. Make sure that you verify the details once again. Click here, and then you click on Save and Continue. With this, you would have created your account on the Snap portal. So once you complete the section that we just saw, you will get an OTP, and you have to enter that OTP, and then your account gets created. So once it is done, you'll be able to see a success message like this. It will say, thanks for your registration. It will give you what your Snap ID is, followed by the email ID that you have used to register for the account. After this, you can either make the payment directly or you can pay later. So if you want to make immediate payment for the Snap, you can click here to make the payment. If you want to pay later, you can click on pay later. If you click on pay later, you will automatically get logged out, post which you'll have to log in again in your dashboard. Once you log in, it will prompt a screen like this, wherein you have to make the payment for the attempt that you have chosen. I have selected only one attempt, and that is why it is showing me 1950. But just in case you have selected multiple attempts, it will show you the fees that you are supposed to pay for the same. So let me make the payment now, and then I will show you how the institute selection is done. So once you're done with the Snap payment, it will ask you to fill the registration form part 2, which is essentially your educational details and the college selection. The first question here is whether you have full-time work experience or not. If you select no, there's nothing to be done. But if you select yes, you will have to enter full-time work experience as on 31st December 2022. In the next part, you have to enter your educational details. So they have mentioned that in case of CGPA, the conversion to percentage of marks would be based on the procedure as certified by the respective board. And in case there is no scheme given, then the equivalence would be established by dividing your GPA by the maximum possible GPA, and then multiply that with 100 to get the percentage. The first question is your highest qualification. So here you can specify whether you are somebody who is appearing for bachelor's degree or you have already completed bachelor's or master's and so on. Then for UG education type, you can specify the stream in which you completed your undergrad degree, and then the name of the degree is to be selected. So let me just show you by selecting some random values as to what the options are. So I've selected commerce in the UG education type, and there are multiple options that they have given here. So I can see BCom, BA, BFT, and so on and so forth. So the qualifying degree name is not really dependent on the field that you have selected under UG education type. So let me select BCom for now. The next question is, if university studied is outside India, you can choose university outside India. Your UG university name has to be entered. So here there is a box and you can select. So let me select some particular random name here. I'm going to select Nagpur University. Your UG university name, if others, please specify. So you can enter that. The 10th marks and the 12th marks are supposed to be entered. So let me try to write something here. Let me say maybe 67 point. I can't enter a full stop. So I'll have to just enter the digit and it automatically puts the decimal point in between. So 67.44, for example, for 12th, let me put again some random numbers. Aggregate percentage of UG degree as awarded by your university has to be entered. Again, I'm putting some random numbers here. And then we are in the next section, which is selecting programs that you want to apply to. Now, this one section is where a lot of students get confused because they think that they need to make all the selections at this point of time. And that is not true. So what you need to do is, first of all, you can make selection of as many programs as you wish to apply to. And this can be reviewed and updated prior to payment. The registration fee for the program is 1,000 rupees. For each of the programs, there is a different deadline. For each of the colleges, there's a different deadline. So what you need to keep in mind is what are the deadlines for the colleges and what are the cutoffs for these colleges. So let's say, for example, right now I want to apply to SIBM Pune. I can select that here, which is MBA SIBM Pune. But if I want to change my preference later, if I want to, let's say, modify it, I want to add a few colleges. Let's say I want to do MBA Business Analytics at SCM, or I want to do, let's say, MBA at SIBM Bangalore as well. I can make that payment later as long as I do it before the deadline for that particular program's application. And that is why you need to actually check the website of the respective institutes to find what those deadlines are. So you just need to ensure that you make the payment of that 1,000 rupee for that preference before the deadline for that particular college. Now, what we are going to do is we'll give you a document in the description. So you'll find a link to that document wherein we have given all the cutoffs of the colleges and what are the deadlines for these colleges. So this will help you in strategizing when you should select a particular college. At this point of time, I think a lot of you would be, of course, aiming for the SIBM Pune because that has the highest cutoff. That is the most preferred option by students. So let's say I select MBA SIBM Pune for now, but I can select as many colleges that I want to give as preference. Please refer to the document that you will find in the description. The next part is entering your address for correspondence. So you have to enter your address line 1, 2, 3, and so on. So very standard thing that you will see in any other form as well. Select the city, state, PIN code, give your phone number, alternate email, and so on. Now, once you're done with this, they will ask you whether you want to take another attempt at test, which is snap test 2 and 3. So if you remember, I had selected only one attempt, but if I want to add another attempt, I can do it at this point of time. For that particular attempt, I'll also have to give the test city preference. For the first attempt, I had already given it, but if I add another attempt right now, I'll have to indicate the test city where I want to take it. Now, once you're done with this, basically you're done with the college selection. As I said, you can add to the college selection later as well. So if at this point of time, I go ahead and make the payment, I'll have to do the payment for the one choice that I had made, which was SIBM Pune. But later, let's say after 5 days, I feel like I should add SCMHRD. I can add that, make the payment for SCMHRD, and that is the application for it. Or let's say in the month of November, you feel like that I should apply to a particular institute. You can come back to the portal and do that application, as long as you do it before the deadline for that particular college. And that is why referring to the document that we'll give you in the description is very important. Please do it so that you get to know the cutoffs of these colleges and what are the deadlines for these colleges. A lot of colleges have not given their deadlines at this point of time. However, we'll try to update the document as and when the dates are released. So once you click on save and continue, this is what you're going to see. It will show you that I've already paid for the snap test, and it will show me the choice that I had made, which was SIBM Pune. So now I'll have to pay 1,000 because it is saying payment status has not paid because I hadn't paid for the fees. I had just made the selection that I wish to apply to SIBM Pune. So here I'll have to make the payment now, and then it will show me payment status has paid. It will show you the mode, the date, the registration number, and the transaction ID, and so on. So as I said, you can always come back to this portal and keep adding to any preferences that you want to add to. If I want to select some other colleges later, I can do that. Some of the colleges will have deadline before the SNAP is conducted. Some of the colleges will have deadline before the SNAP result is announced, and some will be open even after the SNAP result. So that is why refer to the document so that all your confusion gets cleared, and make sure that you apply to the colleges before their deadline. So I hope this video has helped you and given you a nice overview of the entire application process. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment and we'll be very happy to answer your questions. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do it. I'll see you guys in the next one.